All right. Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Jaina. This is our weekly Sabbath day class. We're going to do things a little bit different today. All praises be to the Most High Yah. We're going to have a class that's going to be a little different. We're going to stimulate the brains of the people who have been studying with us for years, and to help those who are on the call that are new, and to give them an opportunity to give some feedback. So one of our members wanted us to record it, so we're going to record this as well, put this on the internet. And what we're talking about is the Elohim of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that when we're in Christianity, we have been taught that he is a puff of smoke. He's a spirit. And he is that. He is. I'm not knocking that. He is a spirit, but he's a spirit being. So we want to be able to bring that out today to be able to understand how he is a spirit being, how this thing works. All praises be to the Most High. So I asked a question today, and the question was, what scripture would we give to support that he is a spirit, that he is a being, and that he has the same features as we have? We can start in the beginning. I'm going to help you out. Let's go to Genesis. Got to go to Genesis. And we're going to start in the beginning. All right, here we go. We're going to Genesis chapter 1. I always write this down. We're going to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Genesis chapter 1. We're going to do this a little different today. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28. Now when we go here, I want you guys, now I understand that some of you all are babies, and I really want you to strap on. I want you to sit still, strap on your seatbelt, and I don't want you to choke. Because we don't mean to choke you, but we got to be able to get this stuff out here, because these people are teaching erroneous doctrines. I mean, this stuff is just incredibly wrong. Okay, so Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, and it reads, and I guess I can open up the screen. Let me open up the screen so you guys can see, for everybody who's here in the class. If you cannot see the screen, we're just reading scriptures. If you have a computer or you have a Bible, open up your Bible to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28, or you can Google Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28, and we use Bible Gateway. That's what we're reading out of, is Bible Gateway. Okay, so here we go. It says, and Yah said, he said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So we're going to stop right there. What does that mean?
It means that he made him to look like he does.
He made us to look like he does. So in that instance, does he have hands?
Yes.
Does he have arms?
Yep.
Does he have feet?
Yep.
He has a head. He has a body. Same thing.
This is a teaching possession.
He said, let us make man in our image and our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now, who is our and who is them? Because first he said, and I'm going to go back, we're gonna mess with you a little bit today, so I want you to just strap in now, strap your seatbelt in, because it's going to get kind of tight. Just a minute. But this is our Supernatural Saturday, and we don't hold back today. I mean, we just got to let it come on.
4 o'clock.
And Yah said, let us make man. That's one being right there.
It's the Israelites. They come on tough.
Let us make man. So he's making one being.
Man in our own image.
Right? In our own image, after our likeness.
That's the word.
Who is our? Now, hold that. Don't answer it. I don't want nobody to answer it. And let them. So now we got one being, but now he's plural, so he said, and let them. So now we're talking about more than one.
They love them trees.
You know?
Flying all over.
Okay, we got a positive. And let me make a statement now. We are teaching, and I want everybody to not talk in the mic on the phone while we're teaching because we're taping. So we got to be mindful of the fact that we're taping here. So I want to be able to put this on the internet, and I just want you guys to understand that. So if you can put your phone on mute, please do. If you can't, let me know your area code, and I'll put it on mute until we open it up to everybody. All right, here we go. Check this out now. Here we go. Can you see the screen now? Okay. So he said, and Yah said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Watch what he does. So Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. What does that tell you?
Shalom.
There's a female aspect and a male aspect.
He created man after his likeness, after what he looks like. But you know what? You know, in that first verse that you read, it says, let us. Now, when we say let us, who are we talking about here? But
That's
then on
the
second verse, in the second verse, it says that he created man from his own image. Now I'm confused here. We talking about let us. But then on the second verse, he created man after his own image. What are we talking about?
That's what I'm asking. That's exactly what I'm asking. Because this right here is the telltale of it all. You got to start right here before you can even get to know who Yah is. Somebody else want to answer that or have a comment you want to bring to the table?
He created the angels before human, right?
Oh, you mean the host of heaven?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back up. I'm glad you asked that question. Let's go back up. We don't want to leave anything out. Let's go back up. Let's start in the beginning. It says, in the beginning, Yah created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the waters. And Yah said, let there be light, and there was light. And Yah saw the light, that it was good, and Yah divided the light from the darkness. And Yah called the light day, and the darkness night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
I love that.
And Yah said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And Yah made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And he called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So there is a body of water in the heavens that you cannot go through, because you cannot go through that water to get through to the heavens. There's a separation. And Yah said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. So we got dry land. And Yah called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and Yah saw that it was good. And Yah said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit trees yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. So everything that was made had a seed in it that grew out of the ground. Everything had a seed in it. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and Yah saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And Yah said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. This is establishing time. Let them be for light in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And Yah made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. So we got the sun for the day, and the moon for the night, and the stars. Yah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yah saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And Yah said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So he made the fish and the flying birds. And Yah created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, and Yah saw that it was good. And Yah blessed him, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And Yah said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And Yah made the beasts of the field after his kind, and after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and Yah saw that it was good. Now, I don't see no angels yet, but I'm getting there. Now, we back to where we started. And Yah said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. So what does image and likeness mean? Let me look it up. I'm going to get the dictionary. I'm going to get the definition so we don't have to squabble with this. Let's do, what does image mean? Image. It says image means a representation of an external form of a person or thing in art. The general impression that a person, organization, or product presents to the public. That's from a public relations standpoint. Okay, so then we say, so this is an external form. That's what image means. Now we're going to see what likeness means. Let's go in here. The image of Yah and the likeness are similar, but at the same time they are different. Now this is what Wikipedia says. The image is just that. Mankind is made in the image of Yah, whereas the likeness is a spiritual attribute or moral quality. Now let's find out if that's true. Let's go down here. Let's find out what it says in terms of likeness. So if we were made in the image of Yah, then we look like him. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's see what likeness is. Likeness. This is what it says about likeness. The fact or quality of being alike. Resemblance. So when it says the resemblance, guise, or outward appearance of a portrait or representative. So what does that mean? If you're in a likeness of something and you resemble something, because that's what resemblance is, when you resemble something, what does that mean?
You look like it.
Thank you. You look like it. Period. It don't take no rocket scientist to figure that. You look like it. So if you're in the image, then you're in the form. But if you're in the likeness, then you resemble him and you look like him. Now let's go back to this. This is going to be rough. I tell you. All right, so here we go. Now let's try it again. So Yah said, let us make man in our. So what does that mean with Sister Santiago? When they say our, what does that mean?
It's plural. It means there are two.
It's two. Because if he meant my, he would have said, let us make man in my image. So he's not, it's more than one.
Yeah, more than one.
It's two.
Yes, but our could be more than one.
Our can be more than one.
More than two.
And Yah said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. So man has to have our form, and he has to look like us. Now we're going to move forward. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So if he said, let them, what does them mean? Is that plural as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes, you're right.
More than one.
More than one.
More than one.
Come on, let's talk about it now. We're getting there. More than one. So we got more than one.
Would it be more than two?
We gonna just say plural because it could be more than two, and let's say it's more than two, but it's more than one for sure.
But
he's not talking to himself. He's going to explain it in this next chapter, in this next verse.
But let me answer the question here. It says, "Let us make man." Now they talking about making man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
We're talking about making man. Absolutely, no question about that. We're talking about making man. And he said, in our image, which is more than one, and our likeness. So man is he's going to resemble us. He's going to have the image of us in the whole 9 yards. And then he says, and let them. So man has gone from being one to more than one, have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now we're going to get down to the meat and the doggone potatoes. Here we go. Watch. So Yah created man. In his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Stop. Created man in his own image. What is that image?
Here we go.
Yeah.
What is that image? What does it say afterwards?
Male and female created he them.
Uh-oh! So wait a minute. So hold on. Could it be that the male and female created he them is the them that he's talking about in 26? That's more than one.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's more than one.
Well, look, I kind of look at it this way, and I might be wrong. I don't know. You understand? It wasn't there, and I didn't get the memo. But when he's talking about creating, let us create man in our own image, after our likeness. Now, when he says after our likeness, I'm not sure that I can agree with what you're saying there in this way, is that the whole story is, this portion of the story is talking about Adam, and it brings up Eve. You understand? So the thing that I'm wrestling with, you understand, is that it wasn't no whole lot of other peoples, or it wasn't just. See, there was a time period when Adam was created and Eve was created at a different time. It reads that way. You understand? I don't think that Adam and Eve were created at the same time. You understand? Okay. Because as we go on in the story, it tells you that Eve was created at a different point, different time. So. That's just my opinion. I don't know. You understand? I'm questioning. And the only way that I can know is that I ask questions.
Absolutely, no question. That's why we have this class. However, when he made man in 26, he was one being. And he said, let us. So he's talking to someone else. He said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. So he's talking to himself about creating a being that is presented as one, but really in all actuality, how many is in this one being?
Two.
You can also look at that as the seed, how he created everything, and everything had a seed in it.
Absolutely. So this one being is the compilation of two distinct individual beings. Now, like I said, we're not going to go deep. We're just going to do the surface because, this was a hard thing for some of us to swallow in the beginning. However, one being, he said, let us make man. So man, imagine a clay man standing there in the image of Yah, and let them have dominion. So within this man, there has to be someone else for him to say them. Watch what happens. And then when we go to 27, it states very clearly in 27, so Yah created man in his own image. Now this is where we can stop right here and not never have to do nothing else. I'm serious. In the image of Yah created he him. So in the image of Yah, he created this man, this clay man, in the image, in Yah's own image. It says, so Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. So if he's created in the image of Yah, what does that tell you about Yah?
He's both male and female.
Okay, somebody better speak up. I've been waiting on y'all to speak up.
Okay, let me ask a question here. Now we know that we don't know specifically, but from my escalation is that the Almighty put all of this stuff in place, and then He created all of this stuff. Now, I mean, He gave us the image and the background and everything. He put everything Not at that same time when we're talking about here. You understand? He created these things afterwards. Like he created these things in our minds to know that this is how it's going to go. I'm going to create this, that, and the other. You understand? And afterwards, he put all these things in play. Mm-hmm. Not just at this particular time everything was in play. It's that these things didn't come into play until later on. But he let us know that this is what he's going to do. That's just my assessment. I'm not sure.
Okay. But y'all hasn't.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Would body, soul, and spirit come into play, maybe?
No.
Because I know God breathed into him and he became a living soul.
Right.
Maybe I'm going left field, but just thought I would bring that in.
No, because we just dealing with man isn't even living yet. He's a clay. He's a being. Like you had a toy. Let's imagine it's a Play-Doh toy. Because I'm gonna use that as an example because that's what we can identify with. You have a lump of Play-Doh, and imagine that the Play-Doh is dirt. And the Most High shapes the man. He's forming the man. He's giving the man arms. He's giving him an arm on the left and arm on the right. He's giving him a hand. He has 5 fingers on each hand. He's giving him a stomach. He builds the pelvic area. He's giving legs. He got 2 legs, 2 kneecaps, 2 feet, 10 toes. He's got a head. He's putting hair on this being, and he's just there. He's just laying there. He was created in the image of Yah. And then when you read further, it says, male and female created he them. Now, this is the same them that's up here in 26. When he said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, after our resemblance, and let them have dominion over the fish and over the fowl of the air and over the cattle and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Then he says, and Yah blessed them and said unto them, so he's talking to 2 more than 1 being, he says, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And Yah said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And Yah saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning was the 6th day. Now, we can stop right there and we could preach and teach a lesson on that will last throughout eternity. Throughout. Now, there is a she. Now, we're going to Genesis chapter 2, because everybody will go to Genesis chapter 2. Go to Genesis chapter 2. We got to go over there. We're on our way over there, too. We're on our way to Genesis chapter 2. And then we're going to go to Genesis chapter 5. Because that's where it is again. Now we go to the host. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. So there's your angels right there. And on the 7th day, Yah ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. Just like we rested today. And Yah blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Yah created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth, which when they were created in the day that the Most High Elohim made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Most High Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. And there went up a mist from heaven and watered the whole face of the earth. So rain didn't come down. The water came up from the bottom, and it wetted. It caused the ground to wet, just like dew in the morning. It caused everything to get the water that it needed for it to grow. And the Most High formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed, here you go, sis, into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So now we got this being here that's formed, he's made, and he breathed into him, and he's living.
Stop right there, sister. I want to make an observation. Now, all before, this was the image of the Almighty, but it was not created as of yet, because he said in verse 7, now the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed the breath into his nostrils, the breath of life. Now, he didn't do that in the beginning. All we know is what the Almighty had said as far as how it was going to establish itself.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there then.
I agree 100%. I'm not knocking that word. I agree with that word. Say, some people be like, well, that was really the first people, and no. We did if there was ever another people before the people or whoever they was, that wasn't a part of our story. This is our story that he gave us to refer back to. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, and so when the sister had mentioned earlier about mind, body, soul, and spirit, the body is physical. And my understanding of the soul is that it's your mind, your will, and emotion. So he created the physical body. And then it says, and he became a living soul. Spirit is life. So you have a mind, you have a will, and you have emotion, but you don't yet have the life. So he created the body. He equipped you with a mind, a will, and an emotion, but then he breathed into you life, and man became a living soul.
Absolutely. I have no question about that, because I've watched people die. I have literally watched people take their last breath. And when they die, the breath goes up. It doesn't go down. You don't get to breathe in and sigh out. When you breathe in, he snatches it.
And then the mind, the will, and the emotion is no longer operational in that body, but it doesn't. We don't cease to exist. So what he creates exists.
Oh, come on now, you getting in
but
a whole...
it's the spirit that gives the life.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
It animates the body and allows that mind, the will, and the emotion to operate.
Absolutely. In other words, that is the electricity that sparks the brain and all the cells in the brain to start working, and the thought process and all that, and all of it is made out of mud. Everything that we're dealing with right now, when you see your fingers and your fingernails and your teeth and all that, it's all came from the mud. It all came from the dirt. All of it did. Now we're still dealing with one man, but we're dealing with two beings, because he said, let them. So we still got one form, we got one man, but there's something in that man that they have to pull out in order for that man to become them. He's still man, but he's got to become them, because he said, let them have dominion. Watch what happens. I'm out for this word now. Listen, And the Most High planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Most High Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goes toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Most High Elohim took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So here we got this man that's in the garden. And he getting ready to give him a commandment. Watch. And the Most High Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. Now watch. Here we go. Watch what happened. And the Most High Elohim said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. Watch what happened. And out of the ground formed the Most High Elohim. Out of the ground the Most High Elohim formed every beast of the field and every cattle of the air. Every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. Watch. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet. Watch what he does. And the Most High Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Watch. And the rib which the Most High had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. Now, stop right there. What just happened?
He created the
Adam.
Yep,
Say that again? He brought forth the woman. He brought forth the woman. He brought forth the female. In one, he said they was both going to be male and female. He called them them. And then when he brought Adam into the garden, he pulled the female out of the male, and now we have, watch what he called her. Watch what he called her. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was what? Taken out of man. All he did was just pull her out. Listen here. Yes, sir. He pulled the female out. He pulled out the female that he spoke about in Genesis chapter 1. He called them over there. He had one being over there, and Adam remained one being until the Most High pulled the female from the male. Like my daughter said, he split the atom. He split the atom. But they were made in the likeness, in the image of Yah. Therefore shall a man leave his mother and his father, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. They were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. He pulled the female from the male. Because he had already told him that that's the image that Yah is. He is both male and female. Now, I thought that there was one being. When I first read this, I thought there was one being, that Yah was one being and one side was female and the other side was male. But it took a Hebrew brother to say, no, sis, just they're in the likeness and the image of Yah. He pulled the female from the male. And Adam is looking at a female version of himself. She wasn't born. She was not from another being. She came straight from him. It's almost having, what do you call the twins that's both male and female? What do you call them?
Fraternal.
Fraternal twin. He was looking at a female version of himself. Now, we're going to go over to Genesis chapter 5. I want to show you something.
Before we go to Genesis 5.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
You go ahead.
All I was going to say is earlier it said male and female, he made he them. But then later it said he didn't want Adam to be alone, which suggests that there was one. It wasn't two earlier.
Well,
it wasn't two separate. It wasn't two separate.
Oh, they weren't separate. Absolutely.
Right.
They weren't separate in the beginning. No, it was one being, but they both of them were there. But he didn't want Adam to be alone, so he pulled the female from the male.
Well, see,
two beings. There was two beings. Two beings.
Okay, in the beginning of that, I think he was giving an idea as to what he was about to do. You understand? Now, it said he created male and female, but at that time he had not created them at all. You understand? Then it goes on.
I agree with you, Brother Doniel. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think in chapter 1 where it's hard to accept is because this has been such a male-driven, dominated story that Yah is all by himself. He is a male, and he's running it from a male perspective, that it's really hard to accept the fact that we came from Yah as well. This is a part of who Yah is too. The female wasn't just something to the side that he thought about. Oh, well, let me give him somebody to help him along. And that's another thing that Christianity brings forth too, is that the woman is supposed to be there as some sort of a extension to help serve the man. But when you think about the image of Yah, if he's both male and female, they're equal in power. And I think that's where the hard part comes in at when it comes to this part of the teaching, is because no one can accept the fact that there is a female side to the Most High Yah. Gotta be. When you look at all the beautiful flowers and the different colors and the different scents, if you look at the different colors of the peacock and all of the things, the birds and the variations of them all, and I'll take it a step further, the gentleness of an infant. If you look at the innocence and the gentleness of an infant, that had to be thought of by a woman. Because men are not made that way. Men will be like, oh, yeah, he cute. But when you look at the innocence and the gentleness of a newborn that comes into this earth, and how soft and cuddly they are, and the smell that they have, and the thing, it's just a totally different, they're two distinct beings with attributes that complement each other. And it's hard because we have been told that this is a male-driven thing, and he was a man, and he's this. But there is a softness there too, and that came. Yes, sir.
How does the story imply that?
I just read it to you.
Can I go back? I'm looking at it, and Yah said, let us, two people, make man singular in our image, back to two people. So you have two people discussing the creation of man. And yet, when we go down, we also see that within that man is encapsulated that woman. So he has all, and he says in our image, likeness, not, it's like you're looking at a mirror of what the Most High is. He's telling you how it is that he came to be. Just as he said, in our image, the female was with him, in him, and now is with him, creating. He said, let us.
Yes, he did.
He's talking to, yes, in our image. Man is in that, because within that man is the same thing that was within the Most High, the female part of himself. And so when he pulled that out of himself, just as he's telling us, he's pulling it out of the man. He has given us the pattern for what it is that he did, because he said, you gave the definition of what an image is. The form, it's the same. It's a likeness. You're looking at the pattern. It's not deviating from what he is. So when he made man in his image, the very thing that he can do with man, he can do it because it reflects who he is and who that woman is in relation to him, a part of him, not separate from, not a created individually, because he's talking to that person. He says, let us. This is co-equal, because he's saying, you and I, not I'll do it and you just step aside. But he said, let us. It's like he's conferring with his equal, with his partner. And that's what he said. It's not good for him to be alone. But he's just like me. The same thing that I have, he can have, because it's within him, because it was within me.
Preach, sis. And wait a minute, let me add to that. And not only that, everything else he made was male and female. You got male and female animals. You got male and female birds. You got male and female fish. You got male and female herbs. Even the herbs of the field are both male and female. Everything is male and female.
This society has us fighting each other behind that.
We do. We do. Oh, we do. Oh, boy, do we.
We constantly, in the household, husband, wife, boy, and girl, it's just ridiculous.
It is.
Animals, they don't do that.
No.
They work together and do what they got to do. Plants, same thing.
You know what? And the only way I know that when
something been dropped down in there to get that mess going on between that male and that female.
Yes,
to keep this confusion going.
Yes, ma'am.
I get it, but a lot of people don't get it. I don't be arguing with, our counterparts with that mess. I don't do it because it's just ridiculous. I can see the devil at work, period.
Absolutely. Because, and you know what, and the reason why I found that is because I went to get some herbs, and my doctor told me, she said, you have to be very careful with hormones when you go to get all natural hormones. She said, because they're both male and female too. You have to be very careful with what you take. Everything that he has done mimics the earth. Everything that he is mimics the earth. It doesn't deviate from it. And we have got to get away from this. Well, y'all was created to help us, and that's what you're supposed to. No. No. We were created just like you. Now, we messed up. Now, I'm not going to say that we didn't mess up. But he said, let them have dominion. Just like they have dominion in heaven, he said, let them have dominion over the earth. Now, let me read this real quick, and then we'll open up the conversation. Let me read this real quick. Here we go. Genesis chapter 5. Now, watch. This is after everything. Here we go again. It says, this is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Yah created man, in the likeness of Yah, here we go again, in the resemblance of Yah, made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. Both of them was Adam. One was male, one was female, just like Yah is. Hard pill to swallow. I know this is hard to take. I know this is hard. But he said, in the likeness of Yah made he him. male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. There means more than one. Them means more than one. In the day when they were created.
I believe that Christianity has a lot to do with that too.
Oh my God, they did a number? They have done a number. They have done a number. I'm telling you, they have done a number on us. That's why when you see, that's why this has become so successful with the Most High, is because we are doing it the way the blueprint tells us to do it, because we have both male and female on these classes. Everything that we do has to mimic the order that Yah has. It has to be both male and female. And that's why you have a lot of these groups that are out here that are off balance, because they will not give that female the voice that she has to have, because there has to be a balance of the two. Has to be.
And may I add something? One of the reasons we see what we're seeing is because this is a fallen world. And because you said Satan or Lucifer walked and he was there with the Most High. He knows how it operates. He knows who's there. And this kingdom is the exact opposite of what was set up. When he fell and created something that stands in opposition to the Most High. So whereas you had a co-equal with the Most High, now you have the Most High being portrayed as a tyrant and as being dismissive and not loving of that being that's equal with him, because he has created a world that stands in opposition to the Most High. So what we see is we actually see the antithesis of what is in the kingdom when we're here. I liken it to where we are right now in this, having finished this 400 years. We're going to be restored, and we're going to have a restoration too, I believe, of what it is to know who that co-equal is. But in the fallen state, we didn't know who we were, and we don't know who she is.
No, ma'am, not at all whatsoever.
We're being brought to remembrance of who we are, and we also are being brought back to an understanding of who she is by looking at these scriptures. We're looking at what was written.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. And it's not a woman trying to make herself valuable. We've always been valuable. We are different from men. We are made different from men because we are the female part of you all.
And there's no tension. When we look at the discussion that's being set forth there, we don't see a tension. We don't see competition. We see people work. We see the Most High, and just say the Most High, working in unison.
Absolutely, absolutely, because when they work together, it is a beautiful creation that they made. One cannot really exist without the other, because we need each other to become a complete level entity. We have to come together. To be balanced, it has to come together. And because it's not working, like you said, they portrayed him as a tyrant, or this is just the way it is, no matter what happens, it's a man that does it. And everybody is looking like, wow. Well, where do we fit in that then? We have a significant part that we play. So, it is very important to be able to understand that this is something that men, and you know what, I talked to a pastor, he was an old guy, he said, baby, he said, this is something that we have argued about in seminary school for years. He said, this topic right here, we have argued about this topic for years. I said, I don't understand where the argument is. The scripture tells it tells you exactly how it's supposed to go.
It's other nations.
What is that?
Believe.
You know?
It looks like it's
even with the voting, they started the slaves. They had the black male slaves voting before they have the female. Their women vote.
Yeah.
Because of that, they're pushing that agenda. You know, the black men and black women, Israelites, they need each other.
Yeah.
And their thought process is totally different than the other nations.
Yeah.
But so that's part of conquering. So if they break all that up, then we have what we have today. A big mess between us.
Because if they can keep separated, and they can keep us from being with each other, they can separate, throw us off balance where we'll never be what we need to be. All of it is, like you said, it's all a distraction of the enemy. It's a strategy of the enemy. Okay, wait a minute. They're waking up now. Okay, we can't have them wake. Okay, we can't stop that. So what do we do now to stop them from reaching where they need to go? We got to be able to separate them from male to female. So what do? We put hatred in the heart of their men toward their own women.
There you go.
Because they know if we ever come together and really start doing this thing, it's over with. Because the hatred that our brothers have for us is not natural. That is not natural for a man to feel like that about the women of his own nation. And I don't want to get off on that, but I'm just saying how everything is being done. Like I heard you all say, I heard the men say, we are Brother Donia, we are the only nation on this earth that dog our women the way they do. It's a reason. It's a reason.
You got to understand where I'm coming from. See, we under a rulership. We're not under our own rulership.
Right.
Under our own rulership, it's going to be a difference altogether. But as long as we are under these people's rulership, we base our understanding that on a lot of subjects is what we've learned in our captivity.
That's true.
And what we've learned in our captivity has never been good for us. We can the only way that we can come together and be as one, as the scripture talks, you understand, is that we have to be separate. We have to separate ourselves from these folks. You understand? As long as we're in these folks, man, we're going to be basing our understanding on what we've understood it to be. We have to learn how to be amongst ourselves, and we'll learn what the real story is. But as long as we captive, you understand, in a land that's not ours, you understand, we're going to be under a misconception here. Hallelujah.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. You know, and it's a strategic plan to separate the men from the women. So what do? They encourage marrying of people of the other nations. That's been a big thing now. You know, and you really have to understand this is all strategically done. Strategically done. Now, I'm not knocking anybody that loves somebody else. I'm not getting into that at all whatsoever under any circumstances. But I'm talking about from a mass strategic point. We went through that yet last week about how everybody in this Bible is identified as a nation. And then they'll come out with songs, we are the world, we are the people, we are the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No, that's not how the Most High sees you.
Yeah, that's what they want.
That's not how he sees that. That sounds good, and it sounds all warm and fuzzy, but again, that's not how the Elohim that created this whole thing sees the people that are in this earth. They are all identified as a nation. We all bleed red. Yes, we do. We all bleed red. However, he does not see us as one mass gigantic people. That is not how we are identified. we are identified as a nation of people. So in that nation, we have both male and we have female. And that is how it's done in every nation.
We have land, too.
Yeah, we do have land. I don't know about that. I didn't want to. Yeah, we got our own land.
Attached to each nation, there's land. These people are moving plants. These plants have land, Pacific land.
Yes, they do.
They're moving these plants and bringing them over to the other places, killing off this. They got animals they taking those animals, bringing them in different parts, tearing up stuff. Just throwing everything is miscombobulated.
It is. Everything's off. The whole world is of course.
The Most High have us. It's order. This earth was in order. Right now, it's a mess.
Yeah. Absolutely. The whole world is off course. I think that's Psalms 82 and 5. Let me pull it up so you can read it real quick. Psalms 82 and 5. We're going to pull it right up here so you can read that. It tells you the whole world is off course. I know, Joe.
May I say something? The Most High is very purposeful in what he does, because even in taking the rib, it says the rib, the Hebrew word designates the rib as side. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about the side of a person, either the right side or the left side, not somebody's behind you or anything. But it's like it's the person who stands next to you. He's talking about the way it's supposed to be, how you're supposed. So I just wanted to mention that.
Absolutely, no question.
That's confusion.
That is Psalms 82 and 5, and let me open it up so you guys can read it. And it says that, I don't know when to get into this, but we might as well. Let's go on there. It says, Yah standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. He said, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Watch what he says in 6. We're going to mess with this just a little bit. He said, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Yah, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. So the whole earth is, of course, everything is out of whack. You know why everything is out of whack? Because we're not where we're supposed to be. We're not. The whole thing, guess what? Like you said, they putting different people in different nations. They carrying different animals to different places. They're genetically modifying the foods. They doing all kinds. And I thought about that today. I said, Yah, why would they need to genetically alter the food? And it just dropped in my spirit, they're not human. Because the food was made for human consumption. And anytime you have to genetically modify something, it is for someone who this food wasn't made for to eat. That's a whole nother
Father that they do it for greed.
They're genetically modifying the food because the food is not meant for their consumption. Because believe me, they don't have to. Y'all didn't have to go back and do anything. This planet will continue to have summer, winter, spring, and fall, seed time and harvest. The sun will go up and go down, and the moon will do what it's supposed to do throughout eternity. Man doesn't have to come behind Yah and fix anything. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they're altering it is because it's for someone else.
Yeah, you put the milk and the honey in our hand. but we give it away to our enemy.
Absolutely. It's for someone else. So all of the things that we're seeing right now, like you said, from the church to the way they teach things are supposed to be, and then one of the sisters made it very clear, all of this was supposed to be forgiven and under the blood. So the woman should be there with the man to help to move this thing forward. But because it's off kilter, and because, again, it gives a superiority to one side of the being, nobody wants to give up the reign. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. And it's just like they say that the people of the other nations are privileged, or they feel like they have this sort of privilege or whatever to do. They do. They have a privilege that the Most High gave them to have for this specific time. And so does the men that we deal with in this society, because they have made Yah to be one dominant side of the Godhead, and that's male. It is. As simple as that. As simple as that. It makes it easier. It makes it easier. And because, like Brother Yerushalayim said, because of ego, nobody wants to say, well, maybe that is, maybe we should rethink this thing. Maybe we should really but because nobody wants to accept that, they're like, well, I ain't going to be able to go with that. Too far gone. Too far gone. So that's what we're dealing with today. Just like they talk about the white people having a privilege. Oh, they so entitled and they're so privileged. They are, because he wrote the story for them to feel like that for now. But all the nations felt like that. All the nations that ruled over us felt a privilege because Yah gave it to them to feel. But when the time was over for us to come out of there, all of that changed. All of it changed. So, these are the things that we have to deal with. Well, let's get back to that girl, because it talks about her in Proverbs chapter 1. She has a name. We can go into some other books, too, and let you know that she has a name. And she's very important. Proverbs 1:20, it says, wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the street. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her voice, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hateth knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. It says, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded it, but ye have set at naught all my course, and will none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Most High. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of the fool shall destroy them. But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. She got a purpose. She has a significant purpose and meaning.
And she has power.
You better say that again. You better say that again. Yes, she got power. Yes,
I want to point out, it struck me as you were reading, I'm looking at John 7:34. King James, ye shall seek me, and ye shall not find me, and where I am, thither ye cannot come. This is the Messiah talking. Same words that wisdom uttered. Almost the exact same words.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Watch this. Check this out. Proverbs chapter 8. Watch what it says in Proverbs chapter 8. It says, Doeth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way, in the places of the path. She crieth at the gate, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the openings of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Most High is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me, watch what she said. She said, by me, kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me, princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance. I will fill their treasures. The Most High possessed me. The Most High possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. She said, I was here in the beginning. Before you was even thought of, I was here. When there was no, I was brought forth. When there was no foundations abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the foundation of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were in the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my door. For whosoever findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Most High. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. She said, I was there in the beginning. I was there before you was there. I'm just saying.
Hallelujah.
That girl was right, and they called her a she. And that girl, that female, was right there.
Gosh.
Any questions, comments, concerns, anything? She was right
I
there.
love it. But you know what? This is why it's so important to know who the Most High is. As you said, if you think of a puff of smoke, it's like something you can't grasp. It's just like ethereal. It just floats. But when you think about the Most High in terms of, in the beginning, two, created he them, in his image, then I'm reading this and I understand, just like we're talking about him being a being, we're talking about her being a being. It makes I was just sitting here yelling. I'm glad I'm on mute.
It fits. It makes perfect sense. It fits. She said, I'm by me the king's reign. It was like I was watching the movie King David on YouTube, and Bathsheba was sitting on one of the thrones, and whatever his son was came up and told her I was supposed to be king. She said no. She said Solomon was supposed to be king by decree of the Most High. She said, but this was and always will be mine from the beginning. I said, I know that's right. In other words, I'm the she of King Dawid. So I was like, man, that's just right on point. Right on point. And when you know what, when you off balance, you off balance. It's nothing you can do. You're off balance. When that he and she is not where they supposed to be, you off balance. It's powerful stuff. And guess what? It fits. It rocks. It rocks just like it's supposed to rock. It's supposed to be male and female, male and female, male and female, male and female, male and female. Rocks.
So it's supposed to be.
It's simple. And then to take it from a medical standpoint, all of us are both male and female. I have some male parts in me, some male hormones in me, and the men got some female hormones in them. He made us both male and female.
You got to understand, this is America. In most of the Eastern countries or Africa or whatever, they don't treat the women as bad as they do in America.
Yeah,
all the countries, wherever we study that, you understand, in them European countries, we treat our females with disdain and everything. But in Africa and all the Eastern countries, well, I can't say the Arabs because they treat their women bad too. You understand? But for the most part, you understand, all of this stuff is European, put together by the Europeans, and that's how we understand it.
That's true. That's true. That's why, as the Most High gives it to us, we have to bring it back so that at least we can bring forth the balance. Because there has to be a balance. Your opinion is just as important as my opinion is. My opinion is your opinion is. And when we walk together in sync, it ain't nothing we ain't going to be able to do.
You know, see, another thing I wanted to say also is that because you know yourself as a Hebrew Israelite, male personified, you understand, they have a misconception. They have a big misconception. You understand? They say that they bring females into their congregation, but they don't give them a chance to understand what the laws and statutes are all about before they want to court them. You understand? And make them their second wives and all of that stuff. You understand? I think that they have a misconception here.
Absolutely, absolutely, Brother Donnie. Absolutely, no question about that. Absolutely. You know, but when we learn better, we do better. We have to learn better so we can do better, because that's how we understand who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. And as long as we can get that, we understand that that this is how it's set up, this is the protocol, and this is how he set it up. This is what it is. But there's always been that battle with that girl. It's always been a battle. I kept saying, what is the battle? What's going on? But now that we understand it, and see what the devil does is he creates distractions for our men, and most of the time it is some of the women of the other nations, and most of them are seduced away. Whether they seduce them with things, whether they seduce them with money, and that all of it is a plan to get you away from where you're supposed to be. And if you notice, this is what all you see now, and they're being seduced away, and it's like no, that until we get it right, it's like I said, it's not going to be very many, because when you really think about how the story is written, when this thing is all over, it's not going to be that many men left. You remember the scripture says 7 women is going to cling to 1 man. It ain't going to be that many left.
One thing that we're talking about polygamy, you understand? And see, they misconstrue what polygamy says in the Bible and how the Almighty allowed that to happen. You understand? So that we would not, so that the women would not bear children to the other nations and build them up, and we go down. That's one of the reasons. You understand? The other reason is so that, you understand, is that we could how's it? You understand? It's not. I can't think of the other reason, but that was one of the reasons why the Almighty allowed polygamy. You understand? He didn't make it a law that everybody can have another wife. You understand? But he allowed them to do so that they would build up the other nations. Just like when we went to war, we took and we was fruitful in the war. You understand? We took some of the women went with us. You understand? To help build our nation up.
Well, let me say something before you go further, because I want everybody to know that you may find that in a lot of the Hebrew Israelite communities, we do not believe in that over here. We believe in 1 man with 1 woman. So let's put that out there, because, there's a lot of groups out there that are still trying to practice polygamy in this society when they are breaking the laws of. So the laws say 1 husband to 1 wife. So that's what we believe over here, the nation of Yehudah. I just want to put that out since he brought that up.
Well, I'm not saying that at all. You understand? I'm saying that it's not a requirement. It's not a law. It's not part of the 613 laws. It's not. You understand? I look here in the nation of Yehudah. You understand? I might decide to get 2 women. That's not to say that you can't. That you're supposed to get 2 women. I might have the qualifications to handle 2 women. You understand? I might be able to afford 2 women. You understand? But you can't knock me for what I think. You understand? Because it's not a requirement. It's not something that everybody got to do. You understand? But the Almighty allowed that to happen because of that he didn't want our women to go over to the other nation and build that nation up. That's why he allowed that to happen.
They're doing it now. They're going over to the other nations, and they're building up the other nations, and they're living with the other nations.
We in captivity. They're going to do everything here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So when we get in our own, when we get into our own establishment, our own under the guidelines and of the Almighty Yah, you understand? Things are going to be entirely different. We can't practice our law in another man's land. We can't do it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know about I want to do it.
Everybody, remember, we're still taping, so put your phone on mute. I want to take you and some people be like, well, what are they talking about? We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. Everybody go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, and we're going to explain what we're talking about when we deal with interracial relationships. Now, we know we're in captivity and all of that, but we have to go to what the Most High told us to do. And it says, this is what he told us. He says, Deuteronomy chapter 7. Let me open up the screen. It says, when the Most High, thy Elohim, shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations, there go that word again, before thee, the Hittite, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Havites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. When the Most High shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou marry with them thy sons, marry them thy daughters. Thou shalt not give to his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy sons. For they will turn away thy sons from following me, may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. So, and then we can go all the way through Nehemiah. Some people, well, let me keep going because I want to read down here, so we'll have this here. He said, but thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images, cut down their groves, and burn their graven image with fire. For thou art a holy people unto the Most High. Most High thy Elohim has chosen thee, listen what he says, to be a special people to himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. He says the Most High did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in numbers than any people, for ye were the fewest of all the people. But because the Most High loved you, and because he would keep oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, have the Most High brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. It says, know therefore that the Most High thy Elohim, he is Yah, the faithful Elohim, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. And repay them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. He said, thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and statutes and judgments which I command thee this day to do them. And wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments and keep and do them, that the Most High thy Elohim shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto your fathers. So when you keep going down, this is all about a people that he chose, a people that he has chosen for himself, that he has given these commandments to. Now, when you go into the book of Nehemiah, it talks about when they were coming out of the Babylonian captivity, that these men had married women of the other nations. And the Most High told them in the book of Ezra, he's telling the men at this time, they were so upset with him, you knew we messed up. You knew you weren't supposed to be with these women. You knew, but because we're in captivity, and everybody says, oh, it's about love. And, oh, we are supposed to love each other, and we have what we need. And I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that. All I'm saying is, moving forward, we have to teach our children that this is something that we're not supposed to do. Because I don't think it's very easy. Now, I might be wrong, but I don't think and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it's very easy to come into this knowledge, understand who you are, understand that you're the chosen in captivity, and then be connected spiritually, married to someone of the other nation. There's going to be some friction there.
That's going on as we speak.
I'm saying it's going to be some friction there. Because you have one person that feels entitled because their people are the people that are in charge now. And then you got another person that feels that he's special because he's chosen of the Most High, but he's in captivity and he's at the bottom. There's no way there will ever be a level there when it comes to Yah. There's no way. It's not possible. There's going to be friction there somewhere. They may not say it, but it's going to be some friction. Especially when you tell them that the children of Israel are black people. And that the Messiah or the Jesus that they believe in, the real one, it was a Negro man. There's going to be a problem.
Not only that, some of them are arguing over the Trump situation. They have children. This is happening in my family that's married to the other nation. One of the females, she's of the other nation, married to my nephew. They were arguing over Trump. They got kids and everything. I'm like,
I believe it.
What I'm saying, this stuff, all that arguing, knowing who they are and blah, blah, that's going on right now.
I believe it. I know it is. I know it is. Now, if I muted your phone, that's because you guys was talking in the background. I will unmute it after we finish. But I believe that. I believe that very wholeheartedly. It's very, very difficult to have that kind of a relationship coming into this knowledge. It's going to cause some friction. I don't care what nobody says. It's going to cause a problem. Because nobody wants to believe, first of all, that we're the people, and second of all, that the children of Israel were black people in the first place, when every religious program that you see on television, every last one of them, from the story of Solomon to the story of King David to the story of Jeremiah to the apocalypse on YouTube, all the characters are white people.
Well, some of the stuff is getting kind of outrageous and embarrassing. And, you know, people know who you profess that you are. Okay, I'm an Israelite. And then, you know, you dealing with people of different nations, and they're coming, oh, okay, look at this. And you got them brothers on there with dancing with Beyonce, like Beyonce with high heels on. That's just, I mean, it's embarrassing. You know? It
is, but he told you was going to be embarrassed by the things that you did. He told you was. When you saw yourself, you was going to be embarrassed. You would be ashamed of the way that you carried on. You know? And it's hard to take. It's hard to take by a lot of people. It is really hard to take. It really is. It is. It's hard to take. But because, like you said, we've been in captivity, you know. This is the stuff that they taught us, you know, and all of the things that we have been involved in. They have taught us from a Christian, a Caucasian Christian foundation, all of the things that we just told you about. This is how we learn the things that we learn. And it was okay, you know, in some instances, because you were Christian, that it's just one love for everybody and we're one people. And that will not be, that's not how it's done. It's not how it's done. And when I wonder what the world is going to do when they find out that everything that they have been told is not true, that these are black Negro people. Because as long as we are the world, we are the people, as long as that's the concept, everybody can say, okay, we can get along. That's not how y'all sees this thing. It's just not how the story is written. It's not. Not how it's written.
Just like the people here in Texas, you know, I mean, it was just a crying shame last week. You know, how many people were not prepared for that? And Texas is always some type of disaster going on. You know,
as much as we talk, sis, and as much as we be trying to tell people, as much as we said, they still wasn't ready for this because they didn't want to listen
ready.
to it.
It's unbelievable.
And you know what? Some of them was our own family members that we've been talking to over and over. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes this stuff got to happen like this for them to tell you, for them to say, I bet you I won't be out like this no more. I bet you I won't go through this again. Sometimes the Most High just got to let you know fat meat is greasy. It is. Because we should have, in the event of anything happening, like we used to always say, I'd rather need it and not have it than have it and not need it.
We were the only one in the neighborhood that had a generator. I got scared for a minute. I be, man, if they don't turn those lights on, they're going to be knocking on the door. And I'll be doggone. One of the neighbors came, hey, is that a generator? When the generator went off, you can hear it 3 blocks echoing in the neighborhood. I'm like, I got scared.
I know you did. I know you did.
They're going to come and get it.
And I think I said that wrong. It goes like this: I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But I bet you did, because nobody, you know why? Because everybody's so busy partying, and everybody's so busy watching TV, and they so busy trying to look like Beyonce, and they so busy trying to look like the Housewives of Atlanta. Everybody's so busy trying to carry Gucci, and they so busy trying to carry Louis Vuitton. And when the end of the day comes, you can't eat none of that. You can't eat none of it. You be looking in that closet at that $2,000 purse, hoping and wishing you had about a $2,000 generator.
I mean, it was scary when that thing, nephew-in-law started that thing up, echoed all through the neighborhood. You can hear it way down because it was quiet. There wasn't no cars on it. You can hear that thing like 4 or 5 blocks down. It echoed and it came back. I said, we're going to put that on last.
Nobody was prepared. And how many years did we tell the people to get prepared? Get prepared. Get prepared. Even if you should have this anyway, get prepared.
Water, no water. Then when I'm like, water, I always keep 10 cases. I go down, I'm circulating those things out. I'm not worried about water. My family, it was crazy.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is a lesson learned. Some people have to learn the lesson the hard way. You have to go through it one time to say, this won't happen to me again. I bet you I won't do this no more.
Why put yourself through that when you can start now? You understand? We ain't in no crisis over here. We're in Georgia, so go and try to do the right thing and store up a little food, little water. You understand? Some is leaks, none all the time. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Be ready. And I tell them, I said, every time when we end our Bible study on the online, we talk about, I said, first thing comes out, make sure you guys get water. Make sure, get a little this, get a little that, man.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Well, it ain't over with, so anybody in the Northeast know that it's coming your way.
Get ready. There you go. Get ready.
No question. We got to be able to make sure you should be able to stay in the house for a month at least without having to go to the have the things that you need.
They said the stores was wrapped around and stuff. I bet. People out there roaming out there. Some of my family members, they looking for cigarettes and all this other kind of cuckoo stuff. I'm like, okay, well, they out there. I had everything I need.
I bet. No question about that. I bet. But again, it wasn't like we wanted. The prophets was telling you. We was telling you. The Most High gave it to us to tell you, and we was telling you. So if you didn't have it, it's because we ain't listening to what you have to say. Yeah. We ain't listening to no women or no. Well, that's on you. All right. Everybody over here was all right. We had women and men talking at the same time, and we was good. You the one had to stand in the grocery line for 2 hours to get a loaf of bread. We were straight. We had our bread in the freezer frozen. All we had to do was take it out and thaw it out. It's simple as that. I mean, that's how it's going to be in the end. If you're going to get it or you ain't. Because we can't force you to do nothing. But if you don't think enough of yourself and your family to store up, that's on you. Let me unmute these mics. That's on you. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, that's on you. You the one going to be hungry. And the one lady was like, her husband looking at her like she was crazy, storing up all that stuff, and then at the end, he was appreciative that she did. It would help the families that didn't have none, their own families.
So I said, you talked about that. Get a little extra for them, the ones that just not going to do what they supposed to do. The family members. But they coming.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of that going on.
I had some stuff stored up for my kids. Like, I got stuff over here. If something happened, I got enough stuff over here. I told y'all I went and bought a freezer, a little bitty freezer. It holds a lot. But I got enough stuff over here where they not going to be hungry.
There you go. All right.
toilet paper, all kind of stuff. Listen, I could probably toilet paper the whole Cincinnati with the toilet paper. We going to have what we need.
There you go. We figured
this
out.
is what it is. You know, like I said, you either get it or you won't. You'll be sitting around somewhere without.
And they had some cash, family, because another thing, that was another one. They was in there no cash. They had like them little debit cards and credit cards. You got to have cash.
Yeah. Let me stop the recording. We thank you all for joining us for the class. The class is not ending, but we're stopping the recording. If you'd like to join us every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The number is 319-527-9197, and the access code is 56039#. Don't forget, tomorrow on Sunday we have our Blog Talk Radio show. It's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all you have to do is call in. The number is 718-664-9551. Thank you for joining us, everyone.